That's what we'll do. We're going to cast Toward the Grave. We're gonna get back Nimble Trap Finder, who's a rogue, and my cleric should be the Hierophant. Oh, and then for 1 mana, we're going to search for another Thwart the Grave. And we'll play Liliana. Hello friends, Zara here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing some ESPER Party. Quick disclosure, I do not think that this deck is going to be super competitive in the meta, so I would not recommend using all of your wild cards on it, as I personally did not use all of my wild cards on it to save them for decks that I think will be more competitive in this meta, such as Dimir Rogues or Landfall. Those decks are both proving to be rather powerful themselves. Before we get on the deck list, just want to remind everybody that I post new content every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can always catch me there, or you can hit that notification bell down below, as well as the subscribe button, and get notified anytime I post a new video. Without further ado, let's jump into the deck list. First off, we have 2 copies of Archfiend's Vessel. He is a 1/1 human cleric for 1 black mana with lifelink. When Archfiend's Vessel enters the battlefield, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. He's our early drop cleric. Pretty decent card. We can always bring him back later, and I'll show you how. Next up, we have Luminarch Aspirant for 1 colorless 1 white 1/1 human cleric. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is one of the better clerics in the deck. If I had more copies, I would play more. If you have more, I would play more if I were you. Next up, for our one and only warrior, we have Seasoned Hallowblade. He is a 3/1 human warrior for 1 white 1 colorless. Discard a card, tap Seasoned Hallowblade, it gains indestructible until end of turn. He is the only warrior that I found in my collection that I felt could fit in this deck, but there are better warriors that I just did not craft, and if you have them or would like to craft them, the ones that I would recommend are Squad Commander. When Squad Commander enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 core warrior creature token for each creature in your party. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. I think he's a much better card. And then, as well as Emeria Captain, 1 white 3 colors, flying vigilance. When Emeria Captain enters the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party. But for this, we are playing Seasoned Hallowblade. That's what we have, and he can gain indestructible, which helps him stay on our battlefield. But if I had those other warriors, I would play them instead. Next up, we have 1 copy of Nimble Trap Finder, another card I would play more of if I had him, but he is a 2/1 human rogue for 1 blue 1 colorless. Nimble Trap Finder can't be blocked if you had another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card until end of turn. Like I said, if you have more of him, play more of him. Next up, we have 2 copies of Acquisitions Expert, 1 black 1 colorless 1/2 human rogue. When Acquisitions Expert enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of creatures in your party. You choose one of those cards, that player discards that card. A little bit of hand control, and more knowledge the more creatures in the party you have. Next up, we have 4 copies of Watcher of the Spheres, 1 white 1 blue. Creature, bird, wizard, 2/2 flying. Creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast. Whenever another creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, Watcher of Spheres gets +1/+1 till end of turn. I like this one because it is flying, which makes it a little harder to block. So with the Nimble Trap Finder, if you have Watcher of Spheres, less likely to block it, then more likely to draw a card, which is nice. It also reduces the cost of our Linvala Shield of Seagate, which we'll get into in a moment, as she is a flyer. Next up, we have 3 copies of Cleric of Life's Bond, 1 white, 1 black for a 2/2 vampire cleric. Whenever another cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. Just a cleric that kind of buffs himself up, and he can help the party by being a cleric. Moving on, next up we have my favorite card, Brazen Borrower. 4 copies of Brazen Borrower, 2 blue, 1 colorless, flash, flying, fairy rogue. For a 3/1, Brazen Borrower can block only creatures with flying. Instant speed, petty theft, 1 blue, 1 colorless, return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Little bit of disruption on a rogue body with flash. You know that this was making in the deck. Next up we have 2 copies of Linvala's Shield of Seagate. 1 colors, 1 white, and a blue for a 3/3 legendary Angel Wizard. Flying, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, choose target non-land permanent opponent controls until your next turn it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. You can sacrifice Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible, creatures you control gain that ability until end of turn. Which is really nice. Once you have a full party, you can always pick down the biggest threat the opponent has, make it so it can't block you, can't activate abilities, and can't attack you. Pretty nice. And if they try to do something kind of scary, you can always just sacrifice Linvala, give everything indestructible, and you can always bring her back later. Next up, we have Liliana, Waker of the Dead, for 2 colors and 2 black mana, legendary planeswalker, starting loyalty of 4. For +1, each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. -3, target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. It's kind of a tech card. It's not super synergistic with the deck, but it is something we can play for free off of our coveted prize if we have a full party. And then you can just keep making the opponent discard cards, especially if you have no cards in hand. You don't have to discard either, which is sometimes can be an issue with this deck, as we don't have very many nimble trap finders. To supplement that, we can make our opponent discard cards or lose 3 life. And if you can get her to the -7, you can bring back anything in your party. Should be fine for the rest of the game. Next up, we have Aura Skyclave Hierophant. Say that 10 times fast. He is 1 black, 1 white, and 2 colorless for a 3/3 legendary core cleric lifelink. Whenever Aura Skyclave Hierophant or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana cost from your graveyard to the battlefield. So he can bring back Archfiend Vessel, and then Archfiend Vessel can turn into a demon, which is pretty nice. Also, if he dies, you can bring back a Luminarch Aspirant or a Cleric of Life's Bond to replace him, which is pretty nice. You can also play him for free if we have a full party and we activate coveted prize. Next up, we have 1 copy of Lithoform Engine, 4 colorless legendary artifact for 2 colors, and tap, copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. 3 colorless, tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, or 4 colors and tap, copy target permanent spell you control. The copy becomes a token. This is another card that we can get for free off of our coveted prize. And overall, tech card in the deck, when you can play it for free, it's pretty nice, and you can start copying stuff, which kind of helps with the fact that we don't always have too many cards in hand, which is a downfall of this deck, that this card helps us supplement as we can cast multiple copies of the cards we do draw. Next up, we have 3 copies of Coveted Prize, 1 black, 4 colorless, super powerful card in the deck, Sorcery Spell. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. If you have a full party, you may cast a spell with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So everything to the left of this card, if it is in our hand, we can cast it for free after searching it, but ideally what you want to do is you want to search either Liliana, Lithoform Engine, or a Skyclave, and cast them for free after you've added them to your hand if you have a full party. If you don't, you can always search for other pieces of the party that you need, or you can search Deadly Alliance. Our next card, 1 black, 4 colorless. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. So you can search the removal spell. You may not be able to cast this for free, but remember, you can still cast any of these other cards in your hand for free. Next up, we have 2 copies of Thwart the Grave, 4 colorless, black, sorcery spell. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Return target creature card and up to 1 target cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is our best source of recursion. We can bring back that Archfiend's Vessel, get the 5/5 flying demon, we can get back a Linvala, we can get back any of our creatures, and we get to get back 2 of them, usually for 2 mana. So for 2 mana, we get back 2 pretty decent creatures. Overall, pretty important card. Next up, we have 2 copies of Spoils of Adventure, 4 colors, white and a blue, instant speed. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. You gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. This is our main source of card draw, as, like I said, we only have 1 Nimble Trap Finder, so this card is very important. This is something you should copy off Lithoform Engine if you can to get it back into the game, or overwhelm your opponent with card advantage, as you will gain 6 life and draw 6 cards off of that. And if you have a full party, Spoils of Adventure only costs 2 mana, so 2 mana, draw 3, and gain 3 is pretty strong. Moving on to the lands, we have a lot of multicolored lands. To start things off, we have 4 base camps. Base camp enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add a colorless, or tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard spell, or activate an ability of a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. So this helps us cast any color for any of our creatures. Really important land. Except we have 1 Temple of Deceit, 2 Dismal Backwaters, 4 Clearwater Pathways or Murkwater Pathways, whichever is more important at the time, 4 Temples of Silence, 2 Tranquil Clove, 1 Temple of Enlightenment, 1 Swamp, 1 Plains. And our modal lands, we have 2 Jawari Disruption for 1 blue, 1 colors. Counter target spell unless its controller plays 1 or enters as a blue mana source. Next up, 1 Glasspool Mimic, 1 blue, 2 colors. You may have Glasspool Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. So it can copy something important to our party while also being a rogue. Another card that I would play more of if I had it, because it's also a land if you need it to be. Very important card. Next up, we have 1 Emeria's Call, 3 white and 4 colorless. For sorcery speed, create 2 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn. Very powerful, gets us warriors, helps with party mechanic, and is a land if we need it to be. Important card. Next up, 1 copy of Agadeem's Awakening, X black 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 sorcery. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that have a different converted mana cost, X or less. So this is another form of recursion and is a bolt land if we need it to be. As you can see, if we can spend quite a bit of mana, we can refill our board with a full party, which is kind of nice. But that's it. That wraps up the deck list. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be super competitive, but it should be kind of fun to play. Let's see if we can get that party mechanic thriving in our games. Okay, so here we are getting into our match against Philippe Doscosil. We only have 3 land. Let's live on the edge. Let's live on the edge. We'll keep it. We'll play Emeria's Call. Oh, we won't access to both colors, so we'll play the Jawari Ruins. So we already have the plains. We'll play this into Watch of the Spheres. So we're playing against Dimir. Is it going to be rogues? No, he's opting. Looking for a land. Oh, he has a land. Oh, playing against Uro. That's my guess. It's Uro. I'll keep that, sure. Crystalline Giant, okay. This card's interesting. My turn, so it gained Vigilance. Interesting, okay. Play the Temple of Silence and Scry. Let's see what's on the top. Base Camp. It gives us our land drop next turn. That's okay. Let's swing. Okay, got in for 5. We could have cast our Archfiend's Vessel. It wouldn't have been a terrible play. I kind of want to keep it as the discard fodder from Seasoned Hallowblade. Jace Mirror Mage, okay. He did not pick it, so he's just gonna draw one, or scry 2. He's gonna draw and hope that it's... He drew a land. Well, that was a nice draw. Nice! Can we say nice? There you go. Nice draw, buddy. So his first strike in Vigilance. He didn't swing, even though it has Vigilance. Weird decision there. does block. Okay, cool. Discard that vassal. Yep.
Love being uncoordinated.
Okay, that's okay. Now we can draw on our opponent's turn. There's no reason to not. We'll see. We could have done it on our turn. We don't have much. He drew. Escape. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Escapes with +3 with a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. We got rid of Jace though. That's good. It would have stuck around because it only cost 3. He had 4 still. He plays it, the 4/1. He's gonna strike. Cool. He's out. He's all tapped out. Let's draw 3 cards. Okay. Put base camp. That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. We need a rogue. We have a cleric. Hmm. Four cards. This exiles 3 other cards, so you could play that. Hit him for 2. We're not being super aggressive. Like, we're not playing the Watcher Spheres from our hand, which we could. Okay. I mean, look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast a creature, create a 3/3 beast. Okay.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
It's 4, okay. And a turn, sure. Coveted prize. Let's look for... What do we need? We needed a rogue. Brazen Bar would be a good one. I kind of want to get... Acquisitions Expert, though. Cast it. Let's look at 4 cards in his hand. I don't think Academ's Awakening is going to be super. We'll probably play this as the land, and then we can cast Dimiri's Call. Ooh, we want Brazen Borrower to go away. Enters chat. Let's coveted price again. Let's search for... Cast the Liana for free. We can cast the Form Engine for free. Let's get Liliana.
The best thing about zombies is their adoring obedience.
We'll discard our Watcher of the Spheres.
Doing things my way.
Swing. Oh, it has reach. Oops. I didn't realize it had reach. I thought it had vigilance. Oh, he chose reach. Okay. That was my bad. So we'll get some Angel Warrior tokens. This one has vigilance. Okay.
New friends.
Another Planeswalker.
I've got an axe to grind.
Another 3/3
Unfortunately
beast.
for you,
Okay.
they're quite hungry.
Okay, we'll block here and we'll block here. We'll play Miri's. We'll play Temple of Silence. We do not want that on top. Dimir call. And we will plus.
I have no interest in fighting fair.
Okay. -2. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature. Lesser CMC. He didn't do that though. You're gonna create more beasts.
Respect for nature
Get another beast.
is always returned.
Beauty lies in variation.
Okay. That's a good card. What do you bounce? Just bounce a token. Bounce the reach token. We just bounce the reach token. And we plus. Let's just bounce the reach token. Plus.
We're doing things my way.
We have 2 blockers.
Oh, you're quivering.
He doesn't want us to proc the 7. He's gonna give it reach.
We will adapt to any threat.
Another 4/1. He's escaping it, so it's going to be a 5/2. Vigilance and first strike. Okay. Swing is everything at Liliana. Everything at Liliana? Okay. Block here. We can keep her alive. Burns him for 3. Then we get in for 7. Puts him at 3. He's not doing anything. And she'll take 6. Okay.
Oh, your bravery is adorable.
Burn him.
You think too much.
Put him on a clock.
That's it. I'm done.
He has to kill Liliana. We kind of forced a top deck war thanks to Liliana. That was quite the top deck. Wow. Everything at Liliana. He quit. Interesting. I wonder how the game would have gone. I don't know why he quit. But you know what? We'll take it. We'll take a win with this party deck. Okay, here we are getting into our next game against Deyunan. Mighty Deyunan. So we have 3 mana. We'll keep it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Play a Dismal Backwater. Gain a little life. That Temple of Silence. We don't want that on the top, actually. That can sit on the bottom. Maybe we can play it with Coveted Prize later. A base camp. We'll play the base camp. We'll play Watch of the Spheres. Got a counter spell. We did not counter it. It hit the board. Gonna bounce it. Nope, flashed and it's 2-2. So we're playing against Dimir Rogues, maybe. We'll see how this does against Dimir Rogues. Ooh. You'll come in as a blue mana source. Swing. He took it. Play Aura Skyclave Hierophant. He's gonna negate it. No, he did not. He let it stick. So I have a cleric and a wizard. We have a warrior now. Well, Leon is not doing much for us. Game's Awakening. If I play this as a bolt land, I'll take 3, and then I can draw a lot. Let's see what he does. Okay, you're not gonna have Death Touch though, so that's okay. I'll mill twice. Mill 2 lands. Okay, no block. Gonna double block him. That's better. Gonna debuff him. Block with all of them. Okay. Yep. Figured he was debuffing him. Decent mills. Another Zulaport the Duelist. Holy wow, man. Okay, sure. Well, there's like so many mills there. Milled our one up here. He didn't mill any of her recursion, so that's good. Block it with the Death Toucher. What a hand. Okay. Let's play our Hollow Blade. Here's a bolt land, and we actually really want this search. Do you really have a miscast? Oh, I would have been so mad if he had a miscast. We really want this card. Because now he can mill us some decent cards. We can get him back, we can get Linvala back. That'll be nice. I'll take 2. That's fine. Oh. He's gonna get something back from my graveyard. Do you have the Zerathon? He has the Zerathon. He totally has the Zerathon. This guy had like the perfect open. Why wouldn't he have the Zerathon? Yep, he's bouncing one of the duelists right now. What a legend, dude. Hey, what you gonna get back from me? Let's see, what do you want? Really? Oh, you're gonna create a copy of Thieves Guild Enforcer? That's pretty smart, actually. It's a good pick. This person can't make up their mind, but that is okay. Did he really have it coming as a copy of Zarathon? He did. But Zarathon's legendary. Okay. We will take misplace. That is fine by me. Okay, if I thwart the grave, that'll leave one black open so I can cover the prize into Liliana. Right, because I have warrior and wizard. I need to get a rogue, which you can come in as a copy of whatever I make. So let's see, warrior, wizard, I need a rogue, a cleric. So if I get back Oaklave and... oh, actually, Nimble Trap Finder would be nice. That's what we'll do. We're going to cast Toward the Grave. We're going to get back Nimble Trap Finder, who's a rogue, and my cleric, which will be the Hierophant. Oh, and then for 1 mana, we're going to search for another Thwart the Grave. And we'll play Liliana. And then we will minus Liliana to kill Zarathon. And then we'll swing in for the 2 in the air and get the draw. What do we draw? A land. Okay. We're going to keep that in our hand so we can discard it off of our Seasoned Hellblade if he swings. We have our blockers, so we can kill the Death Toucher. Thwart the Grave's going to come in handy. You can get back quite a few good things. She's really nice. She would have been nicer early game. We can get back a Linvala. I think Linvala will be the choice on this next one. Maybe Linvala and a copy of Nimble Trap Finder. I think that would be the play. Thanks to all this guy's milling and us being able to search the Thwart the Graves. This is nice. Cool. Cool, just what we want to see. Let's Thwart the Grave again. Let's get back a Linvala and a Glasspool Mimic. And we are going to copy Nimble Trap Finder. Let's draw a ton of cards just because we can. Deadly Alliance is a nice one. Let's play a land. Actually, let's scry. Suits on top. Don't want that really. Let's make everybody discard a card. So he's gonna discard his Zul part. Oh, he's gonna flash him in, okay. Okay. Resolve. Okay. Oh, he's flashing everything in, okay. And then he's gonna take 3 damage. We'll discard base camp.
Sorry for your loss.
To combat. We'll swing in. I'll swing in. With the Death Toucher, that's fine. So we'll kill him. We'll draw 2 cards. And we'll get back Life Bond. Draw 2. Cool. We'll pass. I think we're in a pretty good position against this guy. We're still at 19. We have a full hand, a full party, a Liliana. Okay. So we killed their flyer. So we no longer have a full party. My turn. Okay. Ooh. Let's play a Clearwater Pathway as a swamp. Let's make him burn him for 3. Discard the vessel. Cool. We will play Pirate's Life Bond. Now we'll both be 3/3s. It's both unblockable. We'll draw a ton of cards. We have 20 cards left in the deck. This is good. Get a full party. Deadly Alliance can then kill Thieves Guild Enforcer, which might be the play actually. Kill you. Then we can swing with the Cleric. Yeah, Brazen Bar is fine. Totally fine. Resolve. Burn me for 2. I know the Brazen. That's okay. I think we're in a pretty good position over this game. Let's go to combat. Let's see. So you're not allowed to block. And then we swing. That's a good game. There we go. So the party deck was able to get the full party rolling. Everything going against Dimir Rogues, one of the better decks of the format. I'm really happy with that one. That's a wonderful way to end off our gameplay. Next up, let's go over my final thoughts. So here we are, back with the deck list. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, this deck did not perform very well. There were a lot of games that I just couldn't keep up with the aggro decks. All my lands come in tapped. That's one of the big downfalls of this deck. It does play rather slow. But we did get a couple good games in there, as you guys could see. I would not recommend crafting this deck too much. It was interesting. It was fun when you can have multiple effects trigger for your party and all your stuff costs less and you can draw a whole bunch of cards. And that's really nice. Coveted Prize was nice when you can search something that you want to use and then maybe cast the Liliana for free, or you can cast like the Lithoform engine for free, something in your hand. Or it was really nice against Dimir Rogues because of how often they mill you, just to search the Thwart the Grave and then build your party. Just build your party for free, get into Coveted Prize, get another Thwart the Grave, build your party up, get the Linvala, make sure that they can't do anything about it, and win the game from there. But overall, yeah, that was the deck list. That's how it performed. Those actually were the 2 best games it performed. The other ones didn't go so well, to be perfectly honest with you. That was my take on ESPER Party, using the cards from my own collection, which does not have the biggest amount of cards to choose from, but that is okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, please let me know in the comments below how we can make this deck better. I would really appreciate any advice to make it perform just a wee bit better, maybe like it did in that last game against Dimir Rogues, but that might just be a matchup thing. Maybe we could fine-tune this deck to be like anti-Dimir Rogues so we can capitalize on them milling us. That could be an interesting way to look about this deck. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to have a wonderful rest of your day.